IVM.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and let's be honest, not everyone can understand all of it. That's why you should be listening to Simplified, where Chuck, Naren and Shriketh take on the big issues in the world today and explain them to you in a simplified manner. They delve deep into the subject, by which I mean they go right up to the 5th page of Google results. I bet you've never done that. New episodes of Simplified are out every Monday, and you can check it out on the IVM app or wherever else you listen to podcasts. It's not that complicated, but if it is, then maybe you should talk to the guys from Simplified and ask them to do an episode on that. You can listen to it on the IVM podcast website, app, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Welcome to the Geek Fruit podcast, you nerds. My name is Dinkar, and with me today is a very special guest, Jishnu Guha.
Hey!
I gave you very special guest status for this episode.
I know, because it's 2 in a row.
It is.
Considering my track record, you would think I would not be here.
And I think you're very special. And you're a guest.
Oh, shucks.
Anyway, Jishnu.
Wait, but does it mean I have no responsibility?
You
go. You go.
Okay.
I'm going to lean back.
Fine, I'm going to take all this
As my voice
responsibility.
gets quieter, I will
progressively
lean further away. Speak.
At this point, Jishnu's passed out. He's slowly slumping in his chair. He's having a sip of coffee. Now he's leaning back into the mic. And he's about to say something that's going to blow everyone's minds.
The Crystal Maze is returning on TV.
I am very excited about that.
Boom.
That is going to be good.
I just impressed myself.
Listen,
I didn't think that lean-in would be so well.
That was perfectly done. Have you watched... what is the Crystal Maze-ish adventure show that Terry Crews hosts? It's on Netflix, I think.
Crystal Maze?
It's not Crystal Maze-ish, but it's American Hero Ninja
American
Warrior.
Ninja Warrior?
That's not the Terry Crews hosted one.
One, that's not Terry Crews. Two, that is nothing like Crystal Maze.
There is a show similar to American Ninja Hero guy.
American Ninja Warrior.
It's unimportant.
It's pretty important.
US Ninja friends of ours.
The host of American Ninja Warrior won the Celebrity Apprentice for the last season that Arnold Schwarzenegger was hosting it.
I don't...
it was a horrendous
now?
season. Yeah, it was like a year ago.
I've
told you this, right? My two guilty pleasures in reality TV?
Yeah.
I've mentioned this. I must have told you this.
The Apprentice and
The Amazing
AmericanNinja.com.
No.
Then?
American Ninja Warrior is alright. I mean, it's cool, but I don't care too much. But yeah, the Celebrity Apprentice is hilarious because you get to see washed up celebrities.
That's true.
Like just scrounging for like some attention.
So you watched it in the Trump years and now you watch the Schwarzenegger.
I watched it. It was actually really good. I have to say, it was a good show. I really enjoyed it.
Wait, what is the other one you
years.
said? Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race.
Amazing Race I get.
The Amazing Race I love.
Whenever it's on.
Honestly, because as a filmmaker, I can't just fathom how much effort goes into like a production of that scale.
Yeah.
It's insane because now that we have the internet, as we didn't really have as much access when it first started, I think I've seen it from the very first season, 16 plus years ago.
Yeah.
16 plus seasons ago, not that many years. But
isn't it a season a year?
Because that's the thing. It doesn't take long to do it, right?
Why not?
It's not played out in real time. It's actually just a matter of like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's only like anywhere from 10 to 15 legs.
But it is. I'm sure just the pre-prod on that.
So the pre-prod is insane. But the pre-prod is just like a travel agent. The pre-prod is a travel
fairly
agent.
Complicated.
I know.
I read this whole insider's view about a guy who was an Amazing Race contestant. He was on one of the like 10s of the season, like 12 or 13.
Okay.
And they got kicked out like 6 weeks in or something.
Sure.
So there's a lot of stuff that just goes down. It's a thing on the AV Club. And I found it as interesting as any episode of the show.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, it's insane because the host, Phil Keegan, is always... Not Terry Crews.
Okay.
Is always just like an hour or two ahead of the teams. So when you see them like filming, or rather, like doing the setups for what the next task is, he's like, hey, here I am at the Taj. They're going to climb this minaret or they're going to go into that dungeon. See you guys when you get here. They're right on his tail. So he has to film that, look really calm, cool, and collected and be like, look at me, I'm charismatic host, man. But really, he's like sweating buckets because he's like, dude, you need to film this
You
quick
need to
because
get there.
those guys are going to show up and we're going to look like idiots if we don't do this.
That is a complicated machine to keep together.
It's a very complicated machine, and it's a Jerry Bruckheimer thing. I'm a big fan of
It's a
the
Jerry
Bruck.
Bruckheimer thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Cool. I didn't know you were that into The Amazing Race. I watch it like whenever it's on TV because it's fun, but I've never like followed it.
It's cool.
And I've never seen The Apprentice at all.
The dude
Or Shark Tank.
had his anniversary dinner. Like, I think it's like one of his big wedding anniversary dinners.
Wait, which dude?
Phil Keegan.
Okay.
On a volcano. On top of a volcano.
And this wasn't part of The Amazing Race. This is just part of your...
That was just Phil Keegan.
This is your general Phil Keegan knowledge
Yes.
speaking.
Yeah.
All right.
I saw that on Ellen. Yeah.
I feel like we're getting a very different
I am the
view
guest.
into your world.
I am the guest, aren't I?
Yes,
I'm not
and
here to tell you
I've
things.
never known this side of you, so it is really like you're a guest. We're getting to know each other, Jishnu. It's cool.
I know nothing about you, so no, that's not true.
Well, the only reality... I've
So
never
today we're
followed
talking
any
about
of-
John
okay.
Williams. Basically, we've been on a trend of doing a lot of review-based shows, right?
Sure.
That's kind of been our thing without really intending to. And so now and again, if you've heard our show for a while, we've done a couple of episodes where we've talked about specific contributors. Yeah, people that have contributed to the world of science fiction and fantasy. They've primarily been actors like Harrison Ford and Ian McKellen. We're probably going to do Patrick Stewart pretty soon because obviously, duh. And we were thinking about touching on directors and other filmmakers and such, and we will. But just a day or two ago, I realized that two things have happened. One, John Williams received the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award, one of like over 100 awards that he's received in his career. But two, the dude is 85 years old. So a big part of these little episodes that we do where we just don't talk about anything specifically going on right now, but just reflect on somebody's amazing contributions to this world that we love. The point of it is to talk about these people before they kick the bucket and celebrate them before that happens.
If you want to put it like that.
It's true. Look, the guy is 85 years old and he's rocking a really badass Abraham Lincoln beard. Have you seen a photo of him lately?
Yeah,
he looks baller as hell.
He looks dapper.
Like, he looks like an idiot, but he's John Williams,
He doesn't.
so he looks amazing. No, because he's wearing the Abraham Lincoln thing. And I'm like, who the hell wears the Abraham Lincoln thing? John Williams, that's who.
Yeah.
Because he can. Because he's John Williams.
Yeah. This is the man who soundtracked our childhood's, Jishnu.
This is a man who soundtracked most people's childhoods.
I mean, most people of our age.
Not even our age.
Yeah, in fact, he's
No,
been doing
not
How
at
long
all.
has he been doing this? Give us the roundup of John Williams' legendary career.
Honestly, it's a hard question to answer because
Okay, you know John Williams from a lot of his work with Spielberg, for starters.
Sure.
Jaws.
fine. I mean, I mean this. This is a very hard question to answer because if you just look at his IMDb page alone, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It is 5 pages deep.
Give us the first one.
The
very first one. I actually don't know it.
Do you give me 20 minutes?
Yeah, while you scroll all the
while
way
I
down.
scroll.
Jishnu is currently scrolling. He's scrolling faster.
Okay.
He's reached it.
1956.
What is 1956?
Carousel. Additional orchestrator. Uncredited.
Okay. Well, what's his first as a composer? 1956?
Right? So
The Beatles were tweens when he did his first work.
he's got a bunch of uncredited, which kind of makes me wonder how he's credited here. Then he's no longer uncredited.
He wasn't listed in the film's credits.
Yeah, I guess so. So his first real... Well, okay. Markham, a TV show from 1959.
Oh, of course, I've seen that.
Yeah. Followed by Gidget, which is just a great word to say.
Seen that too.
Have you?
Yeah, of course. Gidget, dude, I love it. It's that part where Gidget turns around and goes like, well, this has been a Gidget of a day.
The first real one that I love, also uncredited, as the pianist. So as a musician, not a writer.
Right.
Atari.
What's Atari?
Does that ring any bells?
No.
1962.
Is it a video game console?
No, but it sounds like
video game console.
It was a VHS cassette that I would that my family would rent out constantly.
Atari?
I don't know where it came
What's
from.
it about?
Do you remember that? Oh my god, it's slipping my head. What's that? The talking car movie.
Herbie.
Think Herbie, but black
It's
and white.
a video game console. No.
Not even a little
it's
bit.
not.
So
All right.
it's Herbie, out in, I want to say, I have not seen this since I was a kid, so I'm very fuzzy on the details, but it's Herbie
Is there a
meets...
talking car or is there not?
It's like, I want to say yes. I could be completely wrong.
Okay.
But for some reason, in my head, I put Hatari and Herbie in the same
bracket?
I could be completely talking out of my ass, but
Okay.
they were in the same line. In that
What
I was
year
5
is
years old.
Hatari from?
1962.
You're telling me they made a talking car movie in 1962 called Hatari?
There's a 77% chance that there was no talking car,
Which also
and
featured...
this has nothing to do with
It also featured a
Herbie.
pianist.
It didn't feature a pianist. A pianist was there. So here's the thing.
Oh.
He got a lot of work just being a piano player, because back then, apparently, it was sort of in the contract for the Musicians Union of Hollywood that all cinema had to have live orchestras play.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You had to have that. So there was a lot of work going around.
Nice.
Because if you're making a movie, it needs music. Even silent film. Silent film is not a thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as silent film. There is film accompanied by music with no dialogue, right? And so, in fact, those films are even more work for these guys.
Yeah.
Because-
Especially because, when they first used to play silent films, the orchestra would be in the room with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So he started off... these are like the very first ones he's got credited for, but he went to
Yeah.
Juilliard and stuff, and he started very young.
He was a pretty... a prodigy, right?
Very much so. I mean,
Yeah.
he's friggin' John Williams.
He's John Williams.
So even when he was a teenager, he was already playing
Yeah.
in like the military band and things like that. And then he went to Juilliard, and he only joined music conservatories because they had studio jazz bands. And he knew that that was just a leg into the scene of being a sessions guy. And so he just said, well, I like film.
And then I like film. Then he did a bunch of sessions work before. His first as a composer was Hatari.
No.
That
was uncredited pianist.
So what is his first as a composer?
I want to say... Oh. Well, so not a film.
Okay.
Because he did a lot of TV. So if you want to get technical about it, his very first one as a composer... Okay. Alcoa Theatre, just one episode in 1958.
All right.
Just a TV show.
Interesting.
The first movie that resonates with me, again, as a music arranger, also uncredited. This guy got a raw deal, man. Seriously. Same year as, a year before Hatari, 1961, The Guns of Navarone. Have you seen that movie?
Yes. What? You say a year before Hatari.
Yeah.
Are we dividing time now as before
Yes.
Hatari and after Hatari?
We know that he completely changed his approach.
Apparently.
When he was like, hey, dude, I can do talking car movies that are maybe talking car movies, maybe not talking car movies.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, maybe I can do like space movies as well.
Maybe.
That was the seed.
We
that
will
got
get
him
to this
excited then.
space movie.
Yeah.
Yes, Guns of Navarone. Tell us about it.
I love that movie.
I feel like I have seen it.
I love that movie. It's a war movie with my god, Henry Fonda. Yes, was Henry? Yeah, starring I'm pretty sure it's Henry Fonda.
Okay.
And it's just a really great, just classic old school war film that like obviously didn't have, Spielbergian, motion to it and whatnot, but it was just really great because it was. You know how people differentiate Star Wars and Star Trek? As Star Trek is like all talk, 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 and Star Wars is pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Guns of Navarone is all talk, talk, talk. So there's
Right.
very little pew, pew, pew.
Okay.
Even though the whole premise of the film is that it's about a German military base on an island called Navarone near Greece, and then these guys from the Allies basically form a pseudo Dirty Dozen, very similar to Inglourious Bastards, a little team, and they just have to go and it's an espionage mission to destroy these giant guns that are on this island, and the point of this island's existence is just these guns, because these guns can take out any allied ships that are trying to cross the channel or whatever. Not channel, that's the English channel, but like to cross that sea or wherever the hell they are. So yeah, it's just a very simple premise of a group of like 5 or 6 of them. They get deployed onto an island and shit goes down, and it's really cool, and I'm not at all surprised that John Williams did this movie, because that will be the
arranged the
theme.
music.
That
Yeah.
I'm sure that will be the
was he
theme of this
composer or
episode.
music arranger?
Music arranger. Okay, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting
Didn't
though,
compose.
because it's a lot of his. I mean, he's worked so much in old Hollywood, which is still kind of a hallmark of his sound. He's got a very, I want to say, like that golden age of Hollywood sound, even now. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's never left. Because the thing
It's
is, I
never
think
left,
he's
yeah.
one of the greatest users of leitmotif.
Yes.
Right? Like, it happens today.
Spell leitmotif for me.
Leitmotif.
Full points.
Yeah. So it's not like it's groundbreaking or anything, but I mean it's basically if for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it's just the concept of giving characters their own theme song.
Yeah.
That's not unheard of. But it's used less and less today. Because I feel like a good I don't want to say competitor because that's not what we're doing here, but not necessarily a contemporary either, but like Hans Zimmer is what I'm getting at.
I will
Also
talk to you
on
about that.
also on
Yes.
his level.
Yeah.
Oh, you have words to say as well?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
No, but go on. Finish
Okay.
your thought.
Well-
we'll take a break and then we'll come back and get into this.
all I'm getting at is Hans Zimmer is equally lauded.
Mm-hmm.
Though I would say Williams is better in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only because what Williams does is create characters with his music.
Yeah.
In that you associate people with their music. You can hear Leia's theme song and you know who
Leia
we're
is-
thinking about,
yeah.
obviously. Beautiful moment in Raiders of the Lost Ark where Harrison Ford meets Marion for the first time and no music plays. So Marion does not have a theme. But there's an explosion at the bar and Indy thinks that she's dead. He has a moment to himself with a monkey. He's just drinking his scotch, looking at a monkey and being like, oh my God, she's dead. I think I loved her. This is very sad. And that's when you first hear her song. And so in that moment, you're sort of incepted with the idea that this music means not necessarily Marion, but the love that he has for Marion.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see that music or hear the music again, when Marion is on screen, it's that much more impactful. As opposed to a Hans Zimmer, who does a great job of building momentum and keeping you engaged with the film, keeping the pace of everything as it should be. But I don't associate anything in particular to any particular character.
Yeah.
Like the Dark Knight theme is probably like one of his most iconic ever. But I don't think a single note drone that goes is associated with either Batman or the Joker or Gordon or anything like that. So I think it's a harder trick that Williams has pulled off. Anyway.
I agree with you. I have much to say on this topic.
Please do.
So we're going to take a break and we'll come back and get into this. Do you agree?
Why not? You're the boss. I'm just the guest.
All right. We'll see you after this break.
Shunyavan, 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 Shunyavan.
$1 billion acquisition. Another copycat startup got formed.
No, the tech world in India is surely moving double the speed of this voiceover.
Tune in to Shunya One every Tuesday to catch us talking to the smartest people we know on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Welcome back to the Geek Fruit Podcast. We are talking today about the legendary composer John Williams. What you hear is our producer Naveen bursting into laughter off mic because he had no idea. He was shirking his responsibilities up to now, to be fair.
He was not in the
He
room
wasn't
for the
even
first,
here for the first
half,
segment.
yeah.
So, deservedly, he's only finding out what we're talking about now. Serves you right, Naveen. So, we were just getting into the difference between Hans Zimmer and John Williams. So, I feel like where John Williams is... he has that aside from the thematic sort of weight that he brought to the music he made, because you associate it with like a particular emotion or a particular character. And like when in The Force Awakens, for example, when they play Han and Leia's theme,
Yeah.
again, like years later, that iconic piece of music just
Right.
hits you.
Yeah.
Or something that ties in perfectly to the movie itself, but while still retaining a very old school golden age of Hollywood kind of stylistic sensibility, like Jaws, for example,
Yeah.
is an amazing theme, of course.
Brilliant.
Can you hum some of it for me? Try like 4 octaves lower, though.
Ba-dum.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
about it.
that's all you
so, you know how it has that, it's a horror theme, really, and it's not musical as such. It's literally just 2 notes over and over and over. And yet it feels very almost classical in a Hollywood sense and
Yep.
not a musical sense. And Hans Zimmer is very different from that. His movies tend to be dramatic. I think if you look at the long-term associations these guys tend to have, like Hans Zimmer with Nolan, for example,
Obviously.
and John Williams with Spielberg, the sensibilities of the directors in the movies tie in very closely to the sensibilities of the composer.
As they should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So where Nolan is like dramatic, in your face, and kind of like there all the time. Like, can you think of a part of a Nolan movie that was silent?
Right.
Whereas with John Williams, the
Right.
silences are as important.
Absolutely.
Which I find very interesting. So I'm going to play a game with you, Jishnu.
Uh-oh.
As Jigsaw once said, would you like to play a game, sir?
Nobody ever said no, and he would he's kind of rude that way, right?
Yeah, he's a dick.
He didn't mean it.
By the way,
He was lying. That was not a question.
now that I've said dick,
That was
that
rhetorical.
reminds me, we had a in the last episode that was not bleeped. That's Naveen shirking on the job again. Some words will be had.
Tisk, tisk.
Anyway, if you remember a while ago, not on the podcast, but in our general lives where we hang out together once in a while, we invented a game where you name a group of 4 and put them into Hogwarts houses. Do you remember this?
We didn't invent this game.
I invented it.
Okay.
It is my game.
All right then. What's it called?
Dinkar's game.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm going to give you 4 composers.
All right.
Okay? Who I try to think of. Let's take John Williams, of course. Hans Zimmer. Junkie XL, since we did just talk about him.
All right.
And I'm going to make this easy for you
Sure.
because I'm naming these 4 and I think I already know what houses they're in, but I want to see
Okay.
your take on it. And the Trent Reznor Atticus Ross combo.
So what houses they're in?
Yeah, put them into Hogwarts
All
houses.
right.
John Williams is a...
God damn it.
Oh wait, let's go the other way.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor / Atticus Ross are...
Slytherin because...
Easy.
Because Trent Reznor looks like Alan Rickman.
Exactly.
So that's a no-brainer.
And I think they would like to be in Slytherin.
Sure.
I mean, the
Yeah.
guy, it's the 9 Inch Nails guy and his best friend.
I will say Junkie XL is Hufflepuff because what the hell is he doing in this
Boom.
group?
Perfect.
Like, he does not deserve
Exactly.
to be here.
I think he's a kick-ass guy and he's a genius. But his, even if you just look at his music,
Sure.
it's very Hufflepuff. It's big, it's muscular, it's massive, but also it's very simple.
Yes, but it doesn't stay with me.
And
I mean, like...
the Wonder Woman theme, which is Junkie XL,
Yeah.
is a Hindi movie theme.
Is it?
This
This is true. You could see that in Rock on 14.
Yeah,
I could
exactly.
easily see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we get to the...
So, I don't know. I mean...
I am perfectly on board with you
I-
so far.
I guess
is an
Williams
easy
is
one.
I guess Williams is Gryffindor because
He is.
because Hans is more thinking man, kind of trying to like keep up with Nolan's really intellectual way of storytelling, whereas
Exactly.
Williams and Spielberg and Lucas are very like just straight to the point, off the heart. Nothing really too deceptive about it, other than that one little plot twist in episode 5. Besides that, he's pretty direct and like
Yeah.
just doesn't hold back. And
He's hot, dude.
Just hot, nothing but hot.
He's Gryffindor.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely. Jishnu
That being
Guha,
said, Hufflepuff is
you
my
have
favorite.
won Dinkar's game.
But Hufflepuff is my favorite, and Junkie XL I do not really enjoy. So you leave
Why
me
not?
in ruins.
Junkie XL is great, dude.
I'm emotionally torn.
Do you remember his Little Less Conversation remix? Elvis versus JXL?
Yeah,
Dude,
that
it's
was
cool.
that was fun,
Also, he didn't remix the song
but
at
that
all.
wasn't a film score.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
What films has he done? He Mad Max. Good theme.
that's the thing. I can't sing you any of these songs, and that to me that is my only real.
I feel like he's a very...
That's my only real benchmark for like, was it a good score or not?
That's
Could I sing
also
it?
the issue with Hans Zimmer to a large extent, though.
It is.
You can't sing it.
You can't sing it, and so I won't find myself listening
Actually,
to.
I don't know. Maybe you could sing Interstellar. But anyway, go
I mean,
on.
you can sing parts of it. Like I said, you can sing. Right?
Oh, was that you? I thought that was a car outside the studio.
So, yeah, I like J-Dubs because his songs are songs.
Yeah,
Even
they
a
have
two-note, even
heart.
that friggin' two-note song, right?
Da-
Like,
da-
I think the Jaws theme song is or rather, I guess, the Dark Knight theme is Hans Zimmer's counterpoint to Jaws. They're both menacing, right?
Yeah.
Like just that one single note drone is it's incredibly effective, just as effective as Jaws. In fact, Jaws, I believe there are plenty of stories of people saying that parents would like walk out of the theater with their kids in tow when they heard that music, even though you don't see anything. Like that's how good that score is. Like nothing has happened. They don't
Yeah.
even show you anything. There's no blood. There's no shark.
the
even.
music is a big part of what
It's
scares
literally
you.
just a camera
Because you barely
going
see
close
the
to the
shark.
person. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like that is an amazing creditation
It
to
is
that.
a leitmotif for the shark.
Literally.
For Mr. Jaws.
Yes.
Who is the shark?
Is it a Mister?
Yeah.
Is
Or
that ever
isn't
made
it
clear?
Miss?
It could also be gender neutral. It's 2017. You never know.
Yeah.
So,
But
anyway,
yes, we're
what I'm
talking
getting
about
at
how.
is, so I prefer. I think the Jaws theme will last in infamy more so than the Dark Knight theme. Not to discredit the Dark Knight theme. It's an amazing theme. It's brilliant. It is, but the theme alone is not as powerful as the Jaws theme on its own.
This is true.
Like that creates a visual in your head. It creates the feeling immediately. Whereas the Dark Knight theme, I think, only works if you watch it with a movie, in particular that movie.
Or with a college humor parody.
Or with
of
a college
the movie.
humor. Yeah, exactly. But like it needs
But yeah.
it needs the marriage to exist in the way it's meant.
This
you know.
is true.
I'm
Like
saying
a
words.
Hans Zimmer score tends to elevate whatever movie
Yes,
it's in.
yes, you're right. That's
Whereas,
the right word to use.
which I mean,
Which is not a bad thing.
Which is
I
a
mean,
great thing.
All I'm getting at is John Williams has surpassed he's constantly working at an 11 on 10.
Yeah.
Like, Hans Zimmer always kills it. He gives you a perfect piece, like every single time.
Do you remember that song of his from Inception? Wah,
I think that was not the right key.
wah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, like you have to. I know I'm sounding like I'm gonna get hate for people saying that I'm hating on
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, but it's just that John Williams is
He's a Gryffindor.
he's Abraham Lincoln with that beard, man.
Abraham Lincoln would have been a Gryffindor.
Okay, so
Tell us more of his movies now.
more of the things he's done. 1965, composer for his first proper show
Yeah.
for the entire series, 126 episodes. Lost in Space, right?
What?
Exactly.
That is insane.
You want to have some fun? I'm gonna name things.
This is the.
I'm just gonna name movies.
Lost in Space is the one with the
Just
family
observe.
on space.
They guess what they're doing in space.
They're lost.
Quite.
All right.
So, here are a couple of
I think Lost
What?
in Space would be a great spin-off of Lost. It's the same show, but in space.
but there's no smoke monster in space
Why not?
because you can't have smoke.
Oh, maybe it's on another planet. No, or just take the exact same show, but rebrand it Lost in Space.
But there's no hatch.
Okay.
Or I guess no. I mean the hatch is to space, or is the hatch then into a spaceship?
Look, I don't know anything about Lost, so
How far did you get,
I don't know anything about Lost.
Did you
I
haven't
didn't
seen
see,
anything?
No.
dude? Where were you in 2004 to 2008?
I had just been burned by Heroes, and I remember watching a bit of Lost and thinking, this is gonna go in the same direction. I
You
feel
know
like.
what?
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah. It turns out, I read the reviews of the finale with great joy, where I was like, I was right never to watch the show. Other legendary dramas that I haven't watched, Prison Break. I
Yeah.
don't know what Prison
I saw
Break is.
a little bit of it, and then I was like, I will not watch more of this.
I've also not watched Suits. What's up with that? It looks
I don't
stupid.
know. It's
about
called,
Suits?
It's called Suits.
Anyway.
I guess.
So let's play John Williams Roulette.
How do you play John Williams Roulette?
You scroll up and down his Wikipedia page and name a movie. Then we talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, they're the easy ones, right? But
Alright.
I think you'll be floored by how many easy ones there are. So obviously the Star Wars and Jaws that we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Close Encounters. The entire indie series.
Yes.
Home
All
of Frickin'
Spielberg-y
Lone.
stuff. He's Home Alone.
Home of
Right,
Frickin' Lone.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
The two good ones.
The two good ones.
Schindler's List.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, of course.
The Olympics.
Wait, what?
Yes.
He's the composer
Yes.
for the Olympics.
Yes.
All
He
right.
made the theme. He made the fanfare in 1984.
Okay.
And it's been used ever since.
That's insane.
So, when human beings reach the pinnacle of physical perfection in their form of athleticism, you might notice that I don't talk about sports often.
Yeah.
They are greeted by John Williams music. The highest level of achievement in sports ball is married
John Williams music.
with John Williams.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is,
Right?
That's a surprisingly cool thing to have done.
All right.
Yeah.
To continue,
Yes.
Gilligan's Island.
He did the theme for Gilligan's
He
Island.
did the theme for friggin' Gilligan's
A lot
Island.
of TV stuff then.
Tons
Still.
of TV. That's his main start. Okay. Now I'm just gonna give you a couple of randoms. Okay, so Superman, obviously, right? Star Tours,
What's Star Tours?
the theme park ride at Disney World.
would that be the same music from Star Wars?
No,
No.
he made his own.
He
I mean, I'm
composed
sure
music for the ride.
it's in the same key, I guess.
Probably.
But yeah, he made his own.
Interesting.
Half Baked featured. Oh wait, what?
What's Half Baked?
I know what Half Baked is. It's a movie from '98. Oh, this is stupid.
Is it
There's-
Half Baked, the Dave Chappelle movie?
I don't know why they put this on his page. It's Half Baked because he's credited for Half Baked because they used the Jaws theme song in that movie.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Some of these things need to be revised.
Half Baked is the Dave Chappelle thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Wait. Saving Private Ryan.
Of course.
So, Catch Me If You Can. It's kind of
All the
pointless for me
Spielbergs,
to
for
all the
starters.
Spielberg stuff, like The Terminal, which I love. It's kind of pointless to read out this
You like
list
The
because
Terminal? I like The Terminal. Not enough people like The Terminal.
I love The Terminal.
It's such a good movie.
I friggin' love The Terminal.
Yeah.
If you've ever been, delayed in a layover in
An airport.
random country,
You watched The Terminal?
you watch The Terminal.
And who are you?
Yeah. Anyway, Tintin,
Of course.
right? This guy has so many that it's really pointless for me to continue because that's not why we're here.
Here's
we're
what's
not here to talk
interesting
about John Williams.
John Williams Roulette.
Let's get back
that we
to
just
Abe
played.
Lincoln. Okay.
A lot of the movies we just named, like
Mm-hmm.
that entire last stretch, all Spielberg stuff. Tintin,
Yeah.
your Ryans and your Catch Me's and your Terminals,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. So again, I'd say let's take a break and come back and talk about this long and storied association. And let's talk about Harry Potter. He does magic and stuff. For now, you're a break, Harry.
We're from the Daily Pow, a Bombay-specific food and culture website, and we have a weekly podcast called The Podcast.
That's pow with an O, not with a V.
Why is it with an O and not with a V when most people spell pow with a V?
Because it's pow, not pav.
And some people also spell it with a U.
Like
P-
pow,
Pau,
like feet.
yeah.
Like pow lagu.
Yeah, like Pau Lagu. So weird. To listen to more of us and what we have to say about the city and its culture and its food, listen to the podcast every week on IVM Podcasts.
Welcome back to the Geek Fruit podcast. We are talking about John Williams, legendary composer. Can you hum us a bit of the Harry Potter theme song, Jishnu?
Do 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 do
Ding,
do
ding, ding.
do do. I had syncopated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. It's a great theme.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the kind of directors he works with. Chris
Chris
Columbus.
Columbus. Now sing the Home Alone theme.
I don't know what that's like. What is it like?
I can't sing it.
Is that it? Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Da, da,
Naveen to the
da,
rescue.
da, da, da.
Now see how that's similar to the Harry Potter theme?
Da, 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 da. Well, I'm
They're
doing
not
them the
far
same
off.
key. They're not
because
far off.
the Chris Columbus stuff
Hmm.
lives together.
Yeah.
The Spielbergian stuff lives together.
Lives together.
And then the Lucas indie / Star Wars stuff has the same
Has the same
pomp and
feel?
circumstance fan fare to it.
Yes. Has he done any other Chris Columbus stuff?
I'm sure he must have. I mean,
What has Chris Columbus done? Mrs. Doubtfire?
that was a Chris Columbus movie?
Wasn't it?
Really?
I thought so.
Damn. Well then, that's a thing.
Okay.
Okay.
I think. I might totally be wrong.
I don't know. This
It
is a. Do you look? I want
Okay.
to show you this list, dude.
Okay.
I don't have 3 days to go through
To
this.
go through it and filter
Okay?
it by Chris
like,
Columbus.
honestly, that's just
Okay.
page 1.
But I was going to use whatever we came up with as evidence to make this point. The kind of directors he works with. Oh yeah, he did do Mrs. Doubtfire. Thank you, Naveen. See?
There you go.
So he probably did the theme for that. But Chris
I
Columbus.
thought Aerosmith did the theme for that.
What is the...
Dude looks like a lady.
Of
I mean,
course. Yes.
let's not kid ourselves. That's all we remember about that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway.
And, okay. So, the kind of directors that John Williams has worked with, with whom he's had some of the best work of his career, John Williams, Chris Columbus, George Lucas, again, much like him, very golden age of Hollywood type of directors.
Yeah.
Is this not true?
Yeah.
As compared to like a Nolan who's like a postmodern guy or whatever.
Right.
Or like less, or more experimental guys, shall we say. These guys, partly because they made movies in that time, but also they defined that time. Like Spielberg literally invented the template for a lot of what we do today.
Yep.
And which is why John Williams is the perfect guy to work with for these guys.
Absolutely. I mean, he's built relationships with them that
Probably
have
because
never.
they have the same like frames of reference.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they kind of grew up looking at the same stuff to some extent.
Yeah.
And then I guess the younger generation guys like Chris Columbus, I guess, would have grown up watching
Yeah, Spielberg.
his. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so like it just kind of continues
not
on.
Spielberg's. Okay, whatever.
Whatever. You get what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
exactly.
it makes complete sense.
So if I am Spielberg, I keep going back to John Williams because I know he gets exactly what I'm talking about because he's a guy like me.
Mhm.
And if I'm Spielberg, cool.
Hi. It's an
What's
honor to
up?
meet you. I never thought this day would come.
And yet you're the special guest. I am Steven Spielberg and you're the special guest.
It's an honor to be on your show.
It's cool, man. What else is up?
Just, you know.
I'm working on Ready Player One now, by the way. Has
He's
John
still
Williams...
working on that?
Yeah.
Man.
Did John Williams do the music for Ready Player One? That'd be cool.
Did he?
A video game-ish movie with John Williams music.
Well, he did Hatari, so anything's possible.
Atari, of course.
Oy vey. That was a thing.
What is his most recent work, shall we say?
Well, the most recent that's come out.
Oh, amazing. John Williams is making the music for Ready Player One. This man can do anything. With Alan Silvestri. I don't know who that is. Who's
Dude,
Alan
he did
Silvestri?
the Avengers theme.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
I think you can clearly see the link there.
Again, yes, like
can see
Marvel
the-
movies have that classic
Yeah.
film score feel.
But wait, to answer your question, what's his most recent stuff? That's the stuff that's come out.
That we would have seen?
Yeah, so he's done. I mean, anything Star Wars has his, stamp,
he
stamp
did
of
The Force
approval on it.
Awakens.
Yeah, but that also continues on like with Rebels and Rogue One and all that stuff. But apart from that,
Does he actively make music for Rebels and Rogue One?
no. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like they recycle his themes
I'm sure,
constantly and
yeah.
whatnot. So like royalty is up the wazoo.
Yeah. John Williams getting paid.
Yeah. Jurassic World was one of the biggest ones that he did recently.
Oh, okay.
Right? And again, that's just like him.
Jurassic World
Yeah.
reminds me.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
Yeah.
We didn't mention Jurassic Park in the list of John Williams music.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just
Because you remember
yeah.
when that first Jurassic World trailer came out, and I was like, this kind of looks nonsensy. Except they played this like a reprise kind of version of the Jurassic Park theme right at the end, and I was like, I'm gonna like this movie just because of that music.
Yeah. You can't not feel good.
Yeah. Also, there is the best YouTube video of all time is this clip of the moment where they first see the dinosaurs, where they get out of Jeep and they see
They're moving in herds.
they're
they
moving
really
in
do move in
herds and
herds.
they're eating the leaves and stuff,
Yeah.
and the theme kicks in.
Yeah.
It's that scene. It's
Yeah.
30 seconds,
Uh-huh.
except when they look at it and our man takes off his sunglasses.
Yes.
The theme
Yeah.
is sung by a dude randomly who goes like, "It's a dinosaur."
I've seen
it's
this.
It's a great
It's
video.
a great
Everyone
song.
watch that video.
It's a
It's a
great
dinosaur.
Well,
So,
I was
Jurassic
going to
World
say
was his
something
most recent
vaguely
work.
intelligent, but now you've thrown me off completely.
It's a dinosaur. We were talking about his most recent work and the fact that he's still going strong. Did you see him talk about doing the music for Force Awakens?
No.
He's just like so excited about it. I
Yeah.
loved it. He was like, it's...
Speaking of excited, so if you've ever seen a live performance of him conducting an orchestra, the really cool thing about watching that is, unlike watching, say, any other musician or like a band or an artist that way, where the one or several performers on stage have always been the ones to create that piece of music, you can see, it's interesting to like look at how people over the course of time respond to their own work, right? So like when you watch like a veteran band playing their hits from like 10, 20, 30 years ago, it's interesting to see like how different bands sort of seem fatigued, like, oh my God, I'm playing this song again for the millionth time, or are they like, I still really like this song and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
With a composer who wrote the piece sitting at home on a piano and then was allowed to say, I want 100 other people to play these other things that I'm imagining in my head,
Yeah.
right? That excitement will never leave him, right? Because it's always going to be a little different because he doesn't know who. I mean, I'm sure he has regulars to some extent, but as he travels across the world, he's playing with different orchestras, right? So he doesn't know those people per
Yeah.
se. It's going to be a mixed bag every time.
Yeah.
So what's really cool to watch is the faces of the orchestra being conducted by John
players.
Williams.
Right.
One of the most epic moments ever was at Star Wars Celebration in May, when they were doing the in memoriam for Carrie Fisher. beautiful speeches and all that, and it was great. And then it ends with this video montage, as they usually do. And then as the montage finishes, the curtains open and you see John Williams was conducting a live orchestra, and the roof blew up, and they were like, "Oh my God, John Williams here! That's great." And then they played like a 20-minute set of. They played. Like that's a set. They played a 20-minute set of Leia's theme song, obviously, the opening theme, and then Vader's theme. Yeah. And every time, especially with the main theme song, because it starts like with such a bombastic explosion, like bam. You know that feeling that we get. We're lucky enough that now, since these movies are coming back, you will only hear the theme song for the first time opening a new film once.
Yeah,
right. It's like you have to like relish that opening crawl. That giddiness is on everybody's face in the orchestra. Like the guy that's blowing the tuba has the biggest grin, but he's blowing that tuba because he knows what he is doing. Yeah. And so like seeing 100 people just loving the shit out of the fact that they are playing with John Williams it was one of the most endearing things to watch. I was more glued to like their faces than I was to Williams, because like he's just like, yep. Like as he's conducting, you can see like his back is to the audience, so he can't see the audience losing their shit. Right. But he knows, like you can see like, and here comes that one little instrument in this, giant orchestra of hundreds. Like when the flute section for Leia's theme comes in, it's like, it's the solo. You've just heard 90 other instruments, and there's like this one old woman playing a flute. He knows that flute is going to kill, right? But he's just like smirking about it. He's like, yeah, of course. That now, like, watch them.
It's nothing.
He's like, yeah, exactly. It's like he's done this a million times.
I make legendary stuff every day.
But to that lady, you can see that she's like trying really hard not to smile too much, because as you're blowing a flute, if you break, you've destroyed the song. Yeah. Right. So she's like, crap. I have to be serious, but how can I be serious right now?
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing out. You should really look up just John Williams live.
That is very cool.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, Alika, who's been on the show before a couple of times, she just told us that she was in New York and she got to see John Williams.
Yeah, that's insane.
Conduct the Philharmonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
I would kill for that. She went to Comic-Con as well.
Yeah.
But God's truth, I would rather see John Williams play any day of the week rather than any friggin' Comic-Con anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. When I was in college, I was talking to a guy once, and we were talking about music. So I was like, oh, cool, what kind of music do you listen to? He was like, a lot of movie soundtracks. And I thought to myself, what? What is that? Who listens, like who goes home and puts in a thing and listens to theme music from a movie? But I found out later that a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
I don't, and I can't.
I do.
Except for John Williams music, which I can identify. I feel like I don't... Maybe other than the Interstellar soundtrack, which I feel kind of sticks out because it's just very melodic, like Time and your main theme or whatever. No, Time is Inception. Okay. Other than maybe Hans Zimmer and probably John Williams, and Trent Reznor at Atticus Ross. I guess what I'm saying is I listen to movie soundtracks. Wow, I've discovered something about myself today.
Hey, it's a learning experience for everybody. But
this has been the Geek Fruit podcast. What a day. Were you gonna do like a summing up-y thing?
Nope.
Okay.
It's your show.
All right. So speaking of my show, what I'd like for our viewers to do is go listen to some music. Tell us who you'd like to talk about next in this series. We should give the series a name, no?
No.
Oh, okay. We won't give it a name. Tell us which person, actor, director, anything, composer, whatever, living or dead. Naveen just wants to get like his producer card in there. Like, hey, why don't you talk about producers? They're pretty important. Yeah, we will not do Harvey Weinstein, but we will talk about anyone. So tell us who you want us to talk about. And
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
As guest. John Williams is the second most nominated person for an Oscar. Second only to...
Who?
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney?
We could talk about animators.
We could talk about...
Like Walt Disney.
That's going to be a big episode.
That's a big episode.
Walt Disney or...
You have your work cut out for yourself, host.
Well, no, you're going to be the guest on that episode.
Oh, but that's not that special then.
It's going to be work for... Well, we can switch roles in that one. I'll be the guest.
How much you paying me?
For being a host?
Yeah.
Whatever I get paid. So a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. So you guys can write into us at contactgeekfruit@gmail.com, or you can talk to us on any of the social medias at GeekFruitHQ. And you can play Dinkar's game, which is where you pick a group of 4 and put them into Hogwarts houses with any of us on social media. Where can they play the game with you, Jishnu?
At Tejas Menon.
Okay. They can play the game with me at Jishnu Guha. And they can play the game with Naveen at Dinks Thinks. And if you want to play with no one in particular, you can do that on at @no_Rona. All right. This has been the Geek Fruit podcast. Give them the catchphrase, Jishnu. Is it coming?
That was it.
Oh, that's the catchphrase?
Yeah.
Bye, you nerds.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.